Trump-appointed FCC chair Brendan Carr has launched investigations into NPR and PBS. Trump is using lawsuits to intimidate multiple media organizations. Trump has also floated passing a nice new law to curb what he calls defamatory fiction.
We've got clips from a Mehdi Hasan takedown, an interview that exposes Trump's attack on free speech that we knew was coming, that we've already seen not even 100 days into the administration from the party that claims to fully support it, of course. So strap in, leave us a like if you can. We'd really appreciate it. Helps us out a ton. And let's jump right in with our context ready.
Trump-appointed FCC chair Brendan Carr has launched investigations into NPR and PBS. He's also investigating CBS News over the 2024 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. That interview with the then vice president also resulted in a ridiculous $10 billion lawsuit by Trump, a case in which CBS might be about to settle with Trump. It's not just CBS News either. Trump is using lawsuits to intimidate multiple media organizations. Last year, ABC News paid Trump $15 million as part of a settlement of another ridiculous defamation lawsuit he brought against them for saying what a judge said about his sexual abuse case, a defamation suit they could have defeated in court. Trump has also floated passing a nice new law to curb what he calls defamatory fiction. On Truth Social in late February, the president lambasted anonymous sources and off-the-record quotes saying he would sue dishonest authors and book publishers. And it's not just Trump. Elon Musk, the co-president, has threatened to sue people who think he did a Nazi salute. The free speech absolutist already last year hit liberal group Media Matters for America with a defamation suit.
Very important here because it shows how Republicans are the only party willing to use the government in a top-down way to silence dissent. Trump will sue media using his position as president to force their hand into settling when they otherwise could win because they didn't defame him. Because of the outside ways he could affect their company, however, it's not a fight they want to take on, which is insane. It is an insane power imbalance to allow to enter a courtroom, all as he calls for media licenses to be revoked for nothing less than not supporting him. He bans left-wing outlets from the White House for not using the rhetoric that he wants them to use, and does even more so in an effort to just further control the narratives, the truth, the flow of information in this country. But it's crazy because when not in power, they will turn around and use free speech as a cudgel to defend, say, racism, sexual harassment, misogyny. Tulsi Gabbard just used it as a reason why she can simp for Russia as national intelligence, the director of national intelligence, but they see no problem when it's these gross dictatorial level violations from the top
Much
down.
of your book centers around the Supreme Court's 1964 decision in New York Times versus Sullivan, which protected the freedom of the press to report on public officials, to criticize public officials. The ruling meant that in order to sue journalists and news organizations for defamation, the plaintiffs, the public figures, had to prove that the material was published with actual malice. That was the standard. As recently as last month, though, as you know, David, we saw billionaire Steve Wynn, Republican donor, donated $800,000 to the Trump campaign, filing a petition urging the Supreme Court to overturn Times versus Sullivan.
This cannot be overstated in severity of how it threatens free speech, the fabrics that hold it all together. The ruling is essentially what holds journalistic free speech together, which is to what speaks truth to power more than anything else, as to for a journalist to not have to fear repercussion from a public figure who may have both a larger following, a larger bank account, more connections to weaponize against them. That is what enables things like whistleblowing. This is how we learn about corruptions, about these hard truths, and removing this protection essentially just removes the voice of journalism, removes the ability to speak truth to power, to inform the people, because those in power are going to have multiple means to weaponize against those who are either dissenting, pointing out their corruption, or whatever else it may be that journalism has always stood to be the microphone for, where Trump would just gain even more control of information and narratives in this country to a scary, unprecedented degree where nothing he doesn't want written will be written. This could be worse than Russian state-controlled media. Fact is being threatened. Truth is being threatened, especially with the conspiracies we already see Trump indulge in regularly. Imagine when he knows that there's no backlash of it being proven untrue.
Steve Wynn is a billionaire. Elon Musk is a billionaire. Peter Thiel, who famously shut down Gawker with a lawsuit, is a billionaire. Donald Trump is a pretend billionaire. How much of this is billionaires driving it? It's very rich people, separate to ideology or right-wing politicians. It's just rich folks who don't want people like you, the business investigations editor at the Times, in their business.
That's really it. It's that simple. It's just Republicans, in so much that they are the party of the billionaire. They are the party of the wealthy elite, the only party of it. Free speech, and what it really is protection for the little guy to have a voice against the big guy, not for the majority to be racist against a minority. I know that's how right-wingers like to project it, but it's the ability for, say, the journalist to call out corruption, scandals, lies, controversy from the powerful public figure or company, for the people to voice their issues with the government, for the media to be able to accurately inform its people. So when you have the president calling anything he doesn't like fake news, his sidekick, the richest man in the world, by the way, censoring anyone who's mean to him on the largest social media for news, the presidential administration and its billionaires suing media companies, pollsters, journalists, and more because they're either not selling the lies that they're trying to push or calling him out for telling them, all while propping up stations like Fox News, the news station responsible for losing the largest defamation lawsuit in American history due to lies not only told on its network, but told specifically for Donald Trump. It's a really scary time for constitutional rights, freedom, liberalism, something that should worry all Americans aside from politics. Like, it's not something that one party should fear, because your voice is the next one they're going to silence if you dissent about anything. If you want to roll the dice that you'll forever agree with conservatives and Trump about everything always, then I mean, more power to you.